If I had to choose one topic that I would say I would cover the most about the 7 years, cheating would be bound to be one of the most controversial topics ever. Everybody can cheat. Whether you're cheating on your spouse, you're cheating on tests, but what we most focus in on is cheating on a test. And take a look at all these videos. I mean, just almost 2 months ago, we did the Dishonesty in America all about cheating. We did cheating back in 2 years ago. And we also did more cheating back in October 2019. That was 4 years ago. Cheating is just where you just copy off someone's paper. And basically it's to where once you copy off someone's paper, it's like, what's the answer to number 5? What's the answer to number 6? And they tell you the answer. That's cheating. And that's why there's videos that if you look up on YouTube saying, no cheating. No cheating. Videos are going to pop up. Like, how to cheat on an exam. PSA saying no cheating. But if you look up no cheating in class, it'd be like this: absolutely no cheating. So I'm gonna show you a couple clips. I already showed you one. I'm gonna show you a couple. I'm gonna show you a couple clips. This is from Insert Productions.
All right, class, time to begin. In 3, 2, 1. No cheating. Okay, class, I need to leave the room for a minute. Remember, no cheating while I'm gone.
Okay, that's not what would have happened. But the right thing was he tore up the paper. Alright, here's the last clip. Here's 2 more clips.
Alright, class. Hope you studied for your quiz. Now's a good time. As always, I'm going to remind you of how I feel about academic dishonesty. Please keep your eyes on your own paper. You may begin.
Oh man, I didn't study. Where's Sal? He's the answers.
Matt, what's this?
It's nothing.
What are you doing?
I'm not, nothing. I'm just taking my
This is cheating. You look at all the yourself. This is cheating. You're cheating. This is cheating.
No, not the right way to do it. Not the right way to do it. Here's another one. That's the bottom line. You cheat, you get a 0, people gets torn up. Other things can happen. One school district, Lemon Bay. In Lemon Bay, if you cheat, if you get caught cheating, there's 3 strikes. First thing is 0 on the quiz or assignment or test. Second thing is F for the semester. And third, mom and dad have to be called. That's the bottom line here. So common sense would say no cheating. And maybe you won't even have to teach direct instruction. Still ahead, we're going to take you to a school to where they're raising test scores. This is in Houston. And wait till you see what happens when the principal and the students at that school district are treated like outcasts. Coming up, a look back at a report that we've done all about direct instruction and asking the question, why can't Johnny read? Stay with us. Back when I was chubby, weighing 200 pounds, this was during our 5th season. 2 years ago, we did a story about direct instruction. It was all about kids learning how to read. From one thing, so from drills and all that stuff. Listen to what I had to say. What if somebody come up with a way to teach people how to read? A lot of school systems are trying it, they refuse to try it. So the question is, why can't Johnny read? We're going to take you to a school that has something called direct instruction in reading. So everyone's concern is, why can't Johnny read? Here's John Stossel. And that's what everyone's concern is, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to show you again tonight. Because a lot of people are not understanding why can't Johnny read. Basically, it's all about something called direct instruction. And the definition of direct instruction is a teaching method where a teacher stands in front of a classroom and presents information to students. It's a teacher-directed method that uses straightforward, explicit teaching techniques to teach a specific skill. Here's a photograph to help explain. Let me zoom it out here that we all can see. You all see it here? If you missed it, we're going to do a repeat about this on tomorrow. Introduction reviews to set the stage for learning. Development is to model the expected. Guided practice to monitor and engage pupils with assigned learning tasks. The closure, bring the lesson to conclusion by highlighting what was covered. Evaluation to assess pupil progress. And independent practice. So the bottom line is development, guided practice, closure, independent balance, practice, and evaluation. That's basically how instruction learning how direct instruction goes. But what we're talking about is reading. And as we're about to show you, the question becomes as always, why can't Johnny read? Here's John Stossel.
The amount of failure is astonishing. Every year the schools spend more, yet things get worse. Professional educators regularly introduce trendy new ways to teach, and the scores go down.
You can help me read when you're ready, okay?
Today, most American kids are taught to read through something called whole language instruction. Kids are to immerse themselves in literature by, say, having a teacher read to them.
Hey, let's keep reading. Henry searched for a dog.
Then the kids will learn to read by osmosis. At age 7, 8, or 9, it'll just come to them, and they'll not only read, but they'll appreciate literature more. It works for some, but only for some. Here in California, for example, most of the kids can't read at grade level.
Walk in any classroom, you could see these kids aren't reading. And yet they said, oh, it doesn't matter if they're behind in the first grade, they'll learn to read and they'll catch up by the fourth grade. Now they find out, 8 years later or something like that they can't read.
Zig Engelman's been complaining about American teaching techniques for years. Almost 30 years ago, at the University of Illinois, he invented a teaching method called direct instruction.
If 7 plus 2 equals 9, 7 plus 3.
Here's today's version.
9, 18, 27, 36.
Much of it is just drills.
4, 63, 72.
Mechanical, repetitive drills.
Get ready.
Good.
You learn the old-fashioned way by memorizing letters and sounding out words.
Good. Get ready.
The kids are to answer at the same time, so the teacher knows who gets it and who doesn't.
Everybody said those sounds perfectly.
Teachers often reinforce the lesson by making the drills rhythmic, almost like a song.
0 plus 0 equals 0, 1.
The rhythm's supposed to help the kids remember what they've learned.
2 plus 2 equals 4. 3 plus 3 equals.
Today, fewer than 1% of America's school children are taught this way. That seems odd, given that 20 years ago, the biggest education study ever conducted by the government concluded direct instruction outperformed other techniques in teaching math, reading comprehension, and language. It also worked for the so-called slow kids, who, like this group, learned to do math above their grades.
That's it! Yo! 7 plus how many equal 11?
7
Yeah, how'd you work that?
28 years later, this girl, Yolanda Tillman, says it changed her attitude about school.
It was just amazing. The way he talked to us was that you can do this. You know, there's no such thing as cannot do. You can do this.
The girl said you can have the cone, but I ate all the ice cream.
The results are impressive. These are 5- and 6-year-olds.
You're in kindergarten. You can't read.
Yes, I can. Yes, we can.
Most kids this age can't read, let alone spell. Yet these kids knew the words I was spelling.
B-E-A-R.
Bear. Bear.
How about L-I-O-N?
Lion. Lion.
And they're good in math, too.
What's 40 plus 40?
80.
Before they began Engelman's drills, few kids at the San Diego school did math at this level. Most couldn't read. But now, most read at the 1st or 2nd grade level.
How many kindergarten kids do they have that don't read? 0.
Parents are thrilled.
He's multiplying, he's subtracting 3-digit numbers, carrying numbers. He's made bets with my husband, and he's won, you know, so we're just really thrilled.
Are you sure you guys are in kindergarten? You're not older kids.
We're older kids.
What word? Next word. What sound? What word?
Every place they've tried this, non-readers quickly learn to read.
Next word. What sound?
For years you've done it.
For years we've done it. We've never seen one that couldn't be taught to read in a timely fashion, like 30, 40 minutes a day during one school year. Bingo, done.
And every place you've gone, scores have gone up. More kids have been able to read.
All the kids read.
And more kids read. Here's part 2.
P-H-R-O-U.
With success like this, you'd think schools would be rushing to adopt direct instruction. But they're not. At this Sacramento school, teachers started doing this on the sly.
The word is across. What's the word?
Across.
Spell it.
A-C-R-O-S.
Why isn't this technique more accepted? Well, it is more work for a teacher.
First word. What word? Next word. What
These
word?
drills are tiring.
Next word. What word?
Snapshot.
Next word. What word?
Impression.
But that's not the reason this hasn't been adopted.
Next word.
Hundreds of thousands of teachers in America want the best for the kids they teach. If yours is better,
No,
some of them would want to do this.
no, teachers do what they're told to do or what they're permitted to do. The culprits are not the teachers. The culprits are your administrators, the guys who install this.
Administrators resist Engelman's approach because it's old-fashioned. Some say there's too much emphasis on getting the right answer rather than being creative.
What number do you end up with?
Engelman does demand progress be measured. He repeatedly gives tests. Even more politically incorrect, kids are grouped by skill, and only when the whole group masters a subject can it move on to the next. It's all much more regimented.
What number do you end up with? Count by 9 3 times. Get ready. All right.
Of course, this regimentation works. In California, where education reform has failed again and again, this school and dozens of others raised test scores sharply by using direct instruction. So what did the state do? Adopt it statewide? No, it stopped using the technique. Bertha Pendleton, San Diego school superintendent.
You can't just rely on one thing, that it's a matter of balance, and that the direct instruction may in fact be limiting for some people in that it doesn't allow them to be as creative as they might.
How would it make people less creative?
It prescribes, it's limiting, it's structured, it tells you exactly how it should be done.
This drill and kill kills creativity. You're trying to make the kids machines. You're cramming it down on little kids who aren't ready.
You're not going beyond what they can do. I mean, they're letting you know through their behavior how much they can take. You can tell when they're flagging. You can tell when you need to take a break. We're not going to do stuff that's wrong for the kids. Come on.
They're going to resent reading later. They're going to hate math, hate education.
We've followed them up. A disproportionately large number of them go to college. The number that go into special ed is reduced, and the number that go into gifted programs is dramatically increased.
And the kids don't seem oppressed. In fact, they say they like school.
What do you like about school?
I like spelling and math and language.
You like math?
Yes.
Why?
Because we get to do fun stuff.
Despite such success, Engelman and his program have been rejected again and again. He's now teaching at the University of Oregon, and he travels the country introducing his ideas to teachers who are interested. But his campaign to better educate kids keeps hitting the same obstacles. Many teachers don't know what direct instruction is, and where it has been tried successfully, the education establishment often throws it out because something new comes along. At this school in Mississippi, direct instruction raised test scores from among the lowest in the district to number 2 in the whole state.
Everybody spell compare. C-O-M-P-A-R-E.
Yet they'll probably discontinue it, say administrators, because since kids in neighboring schools get the new whole language instruction, these kids should get that too. Most states are doing what Mississippi and California are doing, sticking with whole language. Direct instruction, they say, is just not right for the kids.
Well, classrooms ought to be more than worksheets. They ought to be more than just multiplication facts.
But your kids aren't even getting the basic skill.
Well, many of them are not. We're in transition, and all of those things are in flux.
You've been in flux for 20 years, and the skills don't improve.
I don't think that's quite true. We are educating more students at higher levels today than we've done before.
Really?
So we are. We're graduating more students than we did before.
You're graduating them, but they can't read.
That has to be a major emphasis. But it's got to be reading plus and reading for purpose.
Engelman's ideas just aren't fashionable.
Well, so write it down like... You've had a frustrating life. You spent almost 30 years getting good results.
You know, it's easy to feel sorry for yourself. About 7 or 8 years ago, I was going to quit. You know, I did too much of it. And I started to think, what am I going to do with my time? I'd like to thank you very much. Thank you. Get a little charge. So the best thing I could do is just do this. And I figured it's a fight worth fighting. Well, you guys are wonderful. They did a good job, didn't they? Let's hear it for these guys. Yay!
Yay! Okay, John, whole language, one of the reasons that learning by rote, which is the way I learned, was stopped, is because kids learned to read, but they didn't comprehend. And it was shown that rote learning didn't encourage them to read.
Well, that was the theory, and whole language would teach them to read and they'd comprehend more. And it was a reasonable theory. Makes sense to me. But it didn't work. The kids, it turns out, were comprehending more with things like direct instruction, and we've had enormous failure. And normally when you have failure, you have competition.
You sure it's enormous failure, or are you prejudiced?
Look at California. California this week passed a law saying we goofed. We have to go back more toward drills. Yes, it's a failure.
It is learning by rote.
They have to learn the basics before they can move on to comprehend.
THANKYOU, JOHN.
Thank you, Barbara.
So now we understand about direct instruction. Why California passed a law. There shouldn't be a law saying you gotta go back to drills. If the kids are ready, the kids are ready. And this is the same common sense shit that I'm gonna explain on Friday, which is right now. There shouldn't be no law saying that you need to go back to drills. If the child feels they're ready to read, they're ready to read. We showed you Bev Boss, but we're not going to do that right now. Because we got a whole new, because we got to show you a brand new story, which we're also going to show you coming up next week on a classic episode. Coming up, we're going to take you to a school that's probably doing this, that's did not do what you just saw, but they're raising test scores and wasting paper. Stay with us. Well, over 20 years ago, Lamar Alexander released a study with some startling results. In that study, 1/4 of students couldn't correctly add up the cost of a soup, a hamburger, and a soda. 1/3 of seniors couldn't correctly do 7th grade math. How can that be? Could it be because of direct instruction? The school you're about to visit, it could be a cause of celebration. You know, I do have this insane ability. You might guess me asking me, how do you just pick up a story and just tell it like it is? I don't just live the story like you live, like the ads say you live the movie. You see the movie, you live the movie. It's like having the insane ability to learn a song, to find a song, learn a song, and then perform it the next day. Like a gamer would have the insane ability to make the controller float without touching anything. I have the ability to just, like every show, I'd find a story, say to myself, okay, maybe this would be worth raising some common sense about. But this story would even raise common sense. 2 years ago, I was searching through stories that I would share with y'all throughout the broadcast, because it was just more than just raising issues about what we do in life. It's all about issues on education, because we got to put education back on the map. And this story would even raise not just common sense, but also raise your moral compass in life. But was it direct instruction for the Houston School District? Or was it just crying out like outcasts for the community? It's a repeat I'm going to tell you about probably next week or so. Here's Chris Wallace.
It's 7:30 a.m. at Houston's Wesley Elementary School. Principal Thaddeus Lott, as he has for the past 16 years, is making sure things run his way.
Watch where you're going, get on that line.
Wesley is old and overcrowded. Students 95% black and 99% poor. But if you have any preconceptions about inner-city schools, check them at the door. Everywhere Lott takes you in his school, there's a surprise.
Geography in kindergarten?
With Kelly.
No, not at all.
For instance, Miss Kinney's kindergarten class, where 5-year-olds recite all 50 states without looking at a map.
Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
Okay, now think about this.
We're doing this from memory. I'm not sure I can do this. You find children doing special work in every classroom. These first graders are doing 3rd grade math, learning to multiply by 9. These fifth graders read Shakespeare and Steinbeck, and then compare and contrast.
And this was about ladies, about a wife and a man.
Over the past decade, Wesley has been one of Houston's best performing schools. In 1988, it ranked in the top quarter of all elementary schools in Texas, with children consistently doing work up to 2 years ahead of their grade level. What makes this so remarkable is that Wesley sits in one of Houston's toughest neighborhoods, Acres Home. But Thaddeus Lott has lived here all his 57 years, and he says whatever goes on outside of school, there's no reason his students must fail.
You ask a lot of the children here, don't you?
Yes. I believe the children can do a lot. Once you get them into a setting where they feel like they can and they know that you believe in them and you have faith in them, then they rise to the occasion.
Potato, what word is? Potato. Spell the whole word is? P-O-T-A-T-O.
In Mrs. Alexander's first grade class, you see the Lott method. Teachers actively engaging children in rapid-fire drills, lots of repetition, and grading every day in every subject. These children are learning to break down words into sounds and syllables.
Lionel, how many do you hear?
I hear 3 vowels sounding the words on my tongue.
It may look like these children are learning, but Houston school administrators don't think so. They consider this kind of teaching old-fashioned, with too much memorization and too little independent creative thinking. But Lott has thrown out the official curriculum, saying that for these children, his system works.
It says A is A.
They're going over vowel sounds, they're going over combinations of vowel sounds. We're plugging them into a system that I'll guarantee at the end of the year, this youngster will be reading.
Wesley students seem genuinely excited about what they're accomplishing.
You like working hard in school?
Yes,
Why?
because it's fun learning and reading, because reading helps you all the way through your life.
The Wesley School would seem to be a classic success story, a model of how much inner-city children can achieve. Which is why what's happened here the last few years is so puzzling. Because far from being the toast of the Houston School District, Thaddeus Lott and his teachers say they have been undercut at every turn.
They're hostile to Wesley. They're hostile to the building principal.
Gail Fallon, who runs the Houston Teachers Federation, says school bureaucrats have declared war on Thaddeus Lott because he ignores their guidelines. She says resentment is so deep at district headquarters that for years, officials there have accused the school of cheating to get its strong test scores.
We've had them come in and say, we think they're cheating at Wesley. Can you find out how they're doing it?
Just that directly?
Just that directly. They're not subtle about it.
District officials have investigated Wesley repeatedly in recent years, but no cheating has ever been found.
I was in tears because I was upset. I didn't know what was going on.
First grade teacher India Williams was involved in the latest incident a few weeks ago, when 2 officials from the Houston School District walked into her classroom and accused her of feeding answers to her students on a national test. They searched her classroom for hours, but found nothing.
I didn't know these people. I had never done anything. And I was just, singled out.
Why the suspicion?
I think they suspect them because they are poor black children. And because in the mindset in the administration, they don't believe poor black children can outperform suburban white children. And they are doing it, and they are doing it routinely.
Ms. Fallon, you're making a very serious charge.
Right.
You're basically accusing the school district, the top administrators, of racism.
Yes. I think probably racism of the worst kind. It's not even conscious racism. It's a racism of lowering your expectations for minority students.
It's totally fallacious. It's absolutely not true.
Dr. Joan Raymond has been Houston's superintendent of schools since 1986. She strongly rejects the charge of racism and insists Wesley School has never been undercut.
This administration is committed to the improvement of education for all children, and particularly minority children, and the record stands on its own. Mr. Lott has been very, very highly supported by this administration. Absolutely.
But don't tell that to parents in Acres Home, who say they've had enough of the harassment and suspicion from district headquarters.
This is not the first time. They have accused this school of cheating before. But when they come out about the teachers, that was the last straw.
The community even voiced its anger in church.
We understand that they would rather the best schools be in an affluent area. But the bottom line is, gold is gold.
Thaddeus Lott says he too is getting fed up with administrators who don't believe poor black children can succeed.
There are people like this in every big city throughout this country who feel like if you're doing what we're doing, even though it works, it doesn't matter. It's just against their philosophy.
Thinking caps on.
And these people have no place. They should not be making a salary at the expense of these youngsters who will ultimately wind up illiterate. And that's what's happening all over this country.
Lott says it's more than just the allegations of cheating, that the bureaucrats have picked on Wesley for years. These kindergarten students write every day in workbooks. The school district complained they were using too much paper.
The capital of Illinois.
And remember those kids learning their states? Well, the maps were provided by a private donor because the bureaucrats won't pay for them. According to the official supply list, children this young don't need maps.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And I am totally unaware of any curriculum anywhere that says maps cannot be used.
But we showed Dr. Raymond a copy of the school district guidelines.
School supply list. It says, no maps below the 3rd grade.
I don't need to look at it. I'm simply telling you that there is a curriculum in place. I don't even support that kind of a statement, and I don't even know why it's in there.
More than 100 Houston schools get help from corporate sponsors provided by the school district. In some cases, thousands of dollars in money and supplies. But for some reason, Wesley has been shut out of that program.
How many companies have you sent to the Wesley School?
I don't know the answer to your question.
What if I told you the answer was 0?
Well, I guess I'll just have to ask my staff why. I guess we'll also have to ask why there probably has been no request coming in from the school.
In fact, the school has repeatedly requested a business sponsor, without success. Last year, Houston's Tax Research Association, a government watchdog group, went around the school district straight to Wesley.
They needed help. They needed some immediate help.
George Scott says his group raised $10,000 for the school to buy paper and workbooks and maps. And he says he sent a blunt warning to the school district, backing Wesley's principal.
You better stop messing with this man. He has powerful friends now, and we want people like Thaddeus Lott to be able to educate the children and to have the support which they deserve.
First word, your turn, and say my suit.
Despite all of this, Superintendent Raymond maintains she's well aware of the remarkable work children do at Wesley, work that's been praised on the front pages of Houston's newspapers. And she maintains she has a good relationship with the principal.
He likes to do things his own way, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Some people say I like to do things my own way, too. That's why we get along so well.
You do get along well.
Sure, absolutely. I'm a big supporter of Thaddeus's.
Up until October 1990, she had never been to the school.
She had been the superintendent here for 4 years, and she'd never come to visit Wesley?
No.
Why did it take you 4 years to set foot in the school?
There's absolutely no answer to that. I can assure you that it was not deliberate. Time does fly when you're in a job like this.
Didn't you ever just want to go over and pat them on the back and frankly see how their program works?
Well, he has been patted on the back a lot.
I know that's not what she really thinks. That's not what she says privately about Mr. Lott. She said, oh, he's just a clown. He's looking for a promotion. It's not real. That SOB is doing nothing but trying to move up in the system.
She has said that?
Yes.
It's not so. It's absolutely not so. I have not ever made such a statement. It's simply not true.
What's certainly true is that the school district doesn't think much of Lott. Almost every week, out-of-town educators come to study his school. But the Houston School District has never asked him to train its teachers, and never, in 16 years, offered him a promotion.
I'm going to say that if I were another color, I wouldn't be sitting here. For 16 years, not even 5, have been done what we've done. Call it whatever you want to.
If you were white, the response to you would have been different.
Yes.
In Acres Homes, Lott has become a symbol of the anger people feel here. Anger towards highly paid bureaucrats who refuse to believe in their children.
Children who are thought not to be able to achieve can blow your mind because God has given every one of us a brain. And brains are not white, black, or brown.
And so Thaddeus Lott intends to stay on at Wesley School. In continuing to ignore the administrators downtown and to teach his students his way.
We have too many people who have low expectations of children. Too many people who really don't think that children in a setting like this even have the brains or ability to learn.
And what is the truth about those kids?
The truth about them is that they can learn. And that's what we're proving.
A final note. Next Monday is Dr. Joan Raymond's last day as Houston School Superintendent. She was forced to resign over a variety of issues not directly related to the Wesley School. So far, no replacement has been named, and a lot of Wesley supporters don't think this necessarily means that the school's troubles are over.
But nobody else raised common sense about this issue. It's basically because no one cares about, because everyone wants to be their own way. But I have no idea what to say here. I mean, I got nothing else to say. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I was scrolling through Facebook just years ago when I came across Katie Jeffries from First Coast News. You know who she is? She's an anchor of First Coast News in Florida. She has a series on First Coast News called Unsolved. Now she has her own series on YouTube called Drive Me Crazy. Well, she discusses a lot of issues that are based on what we drivers tend to deal with, like parking, bad parking, bad drivers, and all that stuff. One of the videos that really got to me was all about hurricane season.
It is the start of hurricane season.
So I thought for the purpose of Throwback Thursday, I would share with you some of my favorite moments, some of my favorite Drive Me Crazy moments. Like distracted drivers or road rage, because that's, I don't know how long these are going to be, but
Are you kidding me?
I'm going to let Kate Jeffries throw at you with a full playlist.
Dave and Buster's believes in spring break for you.
Okay. Guys, I just need to get something off my chest. Why is it that Jacksonville drivers cannot drive in the rain? We live in Florida. It is a peninsula. It is surrounded on 3 sides by water. But by God, if one drop of water touches the roadway, it is like Lord of the Flies on the roadway. Haven't you seen rain before? I mean, we have alligators that live in the lakes in our backyard. That doesn't rattle us. But one drop of water on the pavement, it is straight survival of the fittest out there. Like, honestly, what is going through people's minds? I think we should do 80 on cruise control. Yeah, I know it's a green light, but I'm gonna stop anyway and watch everyone else skid out. I mean, really, guys, we survived 2 hurricanes within a year. We can do better. Also, please stop driving with your hazard lights on. A, it's illegal in Florida to do that. And B, if you don't feel safe, get off the road. Don't wait in a parking lot because it's Florida. In 10 minutes, it'll be sunny again. So the next time we have a downpour, a gully washer, frog strangler, please drive like you've seen rain before.
Wix is your platform to perform.
So I want to talk about something that is really driving me crazy. Left lane laggers. I cannot with you people. Now Now, before you jump on me and say that I'm advocating speeding, I am not advocating speeding. I'm just saying, don't be a lane hog and have some common decency for your fellow drivers. You may think that you're fine, like just cruising down the left lane, but everybody around you is having to weave in and out to get around you. And I could quote statistics at you, but anyone who has driven for more than 5 minutes could tell you, the more you change lanes, the more likely it is that someone will have a crash. So if slower traffic stays to the right, the faster cars can then pass on the left and then move back over into the right lane. Wouldn't that be nice? It is actually considered a non-criminal moving violation, and you could be fined between $151 and $165. So on behalf of the Jacksonville community, left lane laggers, please change your ways. So I think I actually have something this week that we can all agree on. Whether you are Democrat or Republican, black or white, dog person or cat person. If you park like this, you are a jerk. There are just certain unspoken rules that help govern us as a society. Stay between the white lines when you park. But when you park like this, it's anarchy, and I can't take it. I have a working theory that the people who park like that are the same people who don't tell you thank you when you hold the door open for them. It's untested, but I think I'm onto something. I mean, look at this picture. You are in the middle of 4 different handicap spots. How does that even happen? Parking in a handicap space is a $250 fine, and I hope that person had to pay it 4 times over. Or people that park so close that you literally can't even get in your car. You have to climb in through the other side like some ninja having to straddle the gear shift to try to get to your side. I wasn't in the Olympics. I'm not flexible enough for this. As fascinating as it is to watch privilege in action, please use the eyes the good Lord gave you and park like a decent human being.
And everyone can be human beings with their eyes. We're going to have more Driving Me Crazy when we return from Katie Jeffries. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Throwback Thursday. We're now continuing on with Driving Me Crazy. Once again, here's Katie Jeffries.
Alright guys, it is the start of hurricane season. Yay! If I hear the words cone of concern, I think my eye will start twitching. The last 2 seasons have not been good to us. We had Matthew and then Irma. So whoever said Jacksonville never gets hurricanes, you are full of So I'm actually doing these videos from a different car because my last car got destroyed in Irma. R.I.P. Maple and Malibu. It's fine. It's not like I'm still bitter about it or anything. So if you're gonna get ready, let's just do it now. Because the last thing I want to see is when people wait until the last second and then suddenly you can't find food or water anywhere. The poor guy at Publix, when he brings the water out from the back, it's like a scene from Braveheart of people just like storming the aisle trying to get to that water. Just do it now and you don't have to worry about it. Because when there's a storm coming, people are like, where are the eggs? Where's the milk? I need bread. What are you guys doing? Are you making French toast during hurricanes? Like, I don't get it. Just go get some canned goods. Get some like Chef Boyardee or something, stock up on some water, and like you're fine. Just put that away in a closet and don't worry about it. And while we're on the subject of hurricanes here, evacuations are for your own safety. But if you mention evacuations, people at the beach are like,
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving! Why? You're on your own. If you stay, you're on your own. And like, don't get me wrong, I love the beach. But then it's like the storm is upon us and everybody flees across the intercoastal to take refuge over with the townies. Just leave when they tell you to leave. And please be nice to the meteorologists. They are seriously doing the best that they can. It is science. They can't just predict the future. If you can predict a storm perfectly, 10 days out, you know exactly where it's going to hit and what time, you are a sorcerer, and I want you to come work for us. But seriously, the motto I like to live by is, unless Deegan is worried, I'm not worried. Because Tim Deegan has been tracking hurricanes since before most of us were even born. The man knows what he's talking about. If I see him get concerned, then I will get concerned. But until then, I'm not panicking. We're Floridians. We've seen this before. It's not like a freak blizzard or something. We have hurricanes that happen. We're a peninsula. We're just hanging out there in the ocean anyway. We can handle this. You know, the rest of the country pokes fun at us because, you know, we have gators that sometimes show up in our backyards and we have some kind of crazy news stories that happen here. But if there is one thing that we do know, we know hurricanes. We can do this. I believe in you.
Don't forget your turn signal.
Okay, first of all, this is the South. It's called a blinker. So I've gotten a ton of requests to do a video about using your blinker. And frankly, it took me a while to come up with this one because I didn't know what to say. It takes the most minimal amount of effort possible. You just hit it. If you can't handle that, I want you to take your license out of your wallet, put it in a trash can, light that trash can on fire. You don't deserve it. It's not like an optional thing. It's the law. But when I look around...
But I see a lot of lawbreakers up in this house.
I mean, seriously, how many of you are communication majors? But you can't communicate to me that you want to change lanes? But I'll stop. The blinker was actually invented in 1929 by this guy named Oscar Simler. But still... no one knows how to use it. How disappointed do you think he would be to find out that people nowadays would rather die in some fiery crash than move their wrist slightly? And using your blinker as you're changing lanes, that doesn't count. Because I, as a fellow human on the road with you, need a moment for my eyes to see your blinker. And then let that register back through my optic nerve into my cerebellum. So I can then say, oh, this guy needs over, and then let you over. Give me a second. Here's one more thing. Nobody respects the blinker. When you do use it, people try to cut you off. Like, how rude, man. I was trying to let you know that I needed over, and now I can't get in. So don't complain about the blinker if you don't respect the blinker. And frankly, if you can't handle using a turn signal, blinker, whatever you want to call it, get off the road. You shouldn't be there.
You shouldn't be there.
Where did all these people come from? So it's that lovely time of year again. Back to school means back to traffic. And for all the kids complaining about going back to school, I'm right there with you. We liked traffic a lot better when you were in school. Hashtag bring summer back. But for parents, it is like Christmas come early.
It's the most wonderful time of...
It is astounding how like your 20-minute commute can suddenly be an hour overnight. And everybody's in a hurry. But I don't care how busy you are, you stop for school buses. Like it's not even hard. 2-lane road? Stop. Multi-lane road paved all the way across? Stop. It's freaking driving 101. And if for some insane reason you get it in your head that you should pull something like this, just know that either the cops or an angry mob of mothers will find you. Pray the cops find you first. And let me give you another tip. Some people are afraid of trucks out there on the roadways. Not me. The cars that I find to be the scariest are the ones with these on the back. Because these are not stick-figure families. These are battles fought. These cars will pull over at any moment. If someone in the back needs an attitude adjustment, you get out of those cars' way. Because inside of those cars, there's probably screaming, somebody's throwing food, another kid's probably about to vomit. It's like a 2 a.m. rager in those cars all the time. So you get out of their way. You let them in, and you let them pass you. Because parents in those cars are not about to take any of yours. And that leads me to the holy grail of back-to-school traffic, the drop-off line. Woo! My God. I'm not even a parent, y'all, and just thinking about it makes me sweat a little bit. Guys, everybody in the drop-off line has the same goal. Let's zipper merge in and get little Timmy off to school. This is not the time for tying shoes. Do you have everything in your backpack? Did you forget your lunch? Not the time, Susan. Get your kid out of the car and then move along. You have about an 8-second window to get your kid out of the car before everybody in the line behind you straight up mutinies and then they talk smack about you at the PTA bake sale. And frankly, the quicker you can get your kids out of the car, the quicker you can get some peace and quiet. So, look out for kids, school buses, and if you live in Nocatee, golf carts. But hey, it won't be like this forever. Eventually, summer will roll back around. It'll just be like 9 months. I'm sorry.
Wix is your
So it's officially fall, but for us here in Florida, that means absolutely nothing. I don't want to be like the Grinch that stole fall, but I just can't get into it when it's still 90 degrees outside. You've got meteorologists talking about like, oh my gosh, we're in for a cool down, and they mean 80 degrees. That doesn't count. I'm just looking forward to the moment that the mosquitoes go back to the depths of hell from which they came. And I would appreciate my air conditioning bill not being like $400. And if you have any friends that live outside of Florida, they're taking all of these photos on Instagram, like tossing around leaves, hashtag falling for fall, hashtag sweater season. Like, get out of here. Get off my timeline. I hate you because I'm jealous of you. Our leaves don't even change. They just get so hot and tired, they just fall off the trees. And another thing, you cannot find anything in the stores to wear this time of year. Everything is like sweater, flannel, fleece. It's 100 degrees outside. What am I gonna do with this fleece sweatshirt? And then like the whole world is going mad over pumpkin spice. I want nothing more than to be a basic bee and enjoy a nice frothy PSL. But I just can't drink something that hot when it's still 90 degrees outside. And I thought fall was a time for Halloween. But have you been into stores lately? I need to show you this. I just need you to see what I'm seeing in stores. What is happening here? Stay in your lane, Christmas. There's already an entire row of just gift wrapping, top to bottom. Oh, I actually kind of like this though. Probably gonna buy it. Let's just not talk about it. Listen, I'm not trying to be a hater. I actually love fall. I just wish we experienced it. So I do look forward to that time of year when I can walk outside and not immediately break into a sweat. So I'll see you all in January. Y'all better hurry up and get in this car. We will not be late again this year. You just gotta love this time of year. You're gonna get the bird on the table and the bird on the roadways. There's really nothing more American than sitting down to a nice meal with your family, giving thanks, talking about love, then immediately getting in your car and yelling at the other drivers that cut you off. 54 million people are expected to be traveling for Thanksgiving.
And here we go.
So if you're driving, first of all, bring something calming with you. I'm talking a book on tape, maybe some Enya, anything but Christmas music. That will drive you insane. Listen, a tip though, do not fight in the car in front of your kids. It's not like a parenting thing, but the second that they get to your in-laws' house, the first thing they're gonna say is, Mommy and Daddy were fighting in the car. Sometimes holidays are just about survival. Like if you need to go into the corner and do some shots of Fireball, I get it. Because maybe at dinner you were stuck next to your cousin who's now an influencer on Instagram and you have to listen to that garbage all night. Do the shots, drink all the wine, make a scene. I don't care. Just don't drink and drive. If you are headed somewhere that's snowing, ooh, bless your heart, Southern driver. Let me give you some of the best advice that I ever got about driving in the snow. First of all, you want to put your car in the lowest gear and then drive like you're trying to sneak up on somebody. Kind of like the way you would creep past your ex's house and hope that nobody sees you. Like that. Let's talk air travel. Because if there's one thing we all love, oh, it's the TSA. I am literally baffled that there are people every time I go through the line that just don't know the routine. It's not rocket science, Karen. Take off your jacket, take off your shoes, take off your belt, take that $7 worth of change out of your pocket, put it in the little bin, and shove that thing through the machine. Keep it moving. And if you are traveling alone with kids, you're doing a great job, honey. Don't listen to anyone. As long as y'all get there in one piece, that's all that matters. At least you didn't pull a Home Alone. Listen, holiday travel can be really stressful, but at least at the end of the day, there's pie. Just don't drink and drive, do not talk about politics, and be nice to your family, because they're the ones that have to put up with your
And they put up with everything. We're going to take a break, and I bet you're probably laughing your socks off. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Alright, we're at the last 10 of the Driving Me Crazy vids. Once again, Kitty Jeffries.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. So as we wrap up 2018, I have a few things that I need to get off my chest. I gotta let the hate out of my heart and start the new year fresh. So I've got my trusty Festivus poll here. No tinsel, it's distracting, much like texting and driving. So let the airing of grievances begin. First up, 295 at Bay Meadows, where it goes from 4 lanes to 2. Why would you do this to us? Have you met us? Do you actually think we are capable of that kind of merge? I don't even know why they put speed limit signs through there. It's not like you're ever gonna go more than 35 miles per hour. It's always congested. Fix it. Next, town center traffic. Just trying to find a parking space will take you from Buddy the Elf to John McClane and Die Hard. I'm all for commerce and job, but maybe before we built all the shops and apartments out there, maybe we should have put a roadway in first. Just a thought. Next, you know who I have a problem with? Boaters that go under the Main Street Bridge at rush hour. I know maritime traffic takes precedence, don't at me. But why do you always have to do it at rush hour? You're already living your best life. You're on a boat. Well, I'm just sitting in traffic trying to go to work. Can't you give me this one thing? Rude! The San Marco train for making us all habitually late. Left lane laggers. Failure to use a blinker. People who drive with their hazards on in the rain. Get off the road! People who park like this. What, did Mr. Magoo park this? Did you even bother to look at the lines? If you can't park it, you shouldn't drive it. Next, 5 points. Y'all really just don't care at all, do you? We talked about this last year, and y'all haven't done anything to fix it. It's still some massive game of chicken where you just brace for impact when you're driving through and pray that you get to Publix in one piece. Either figure it out or take it out. Merging. Oh my God. What is so hard about taking turns? You go, then you go. You go, then you go. A freaking kindergarten class can handle this better. Get it together. Whew. I feel better. I really do. Sometimes you just have to let those grievances out. I think Seinfeld was onto something here.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
So, I expect you to use the next week to get it together, and I will see you all in 2019. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you expecting a video? We need to talk about something that is getting seriously out of hand. Distracted driving. Specifically, texting and driving. Let's be honest here. Most of us can't even walk in text. Y'all are out here walking into fountains, walking into walls. I mean, come on. You actually think that you can text and drive? Get out of here. Also, I cannot get enough of these videos. Thank God for security cameras. Listen, if it stresses you out to see your Uber driver text while they're driving you, you shouldn't be doing it either. 1 star. If you call someone out on it, the response sometimes you get is, I do it all the time. I don't know what you're freaking out about. Excuse me, what?
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
What are you even saying that's so important? Like, you're not Gandhi out here about to drop some life-altering quote. You're talking about whatever stupid drama is going on, or you're just sending emojis. That is not worth dying for. While I'm on it, can y'all please stop Snapchatting yourself singing the lyrics in your car? I'm gonna start reporting you to the insurance companies. So I thought that texting and driving was the worst thing that you could do. But then we ran this story.
1/3 of Americans who have shopped on their mobile devices admit that they've done it while driving.
What? Why are you online shopping in the car? Do it when you get to work. Waste your company's time, not your own. I just don't understand. This is getting ridiculous. I need to bring in a professional. Alright, so we have Deputy Chris Padgett here, Clay County Sheriff's Office. What is the worst thing you've ever seen behind the wheel?
I saw a person holding a hamburger in one hand, a cigarette in the other, while leaning down to take a drink of their Big Gulp that was in their lap.
That's a lot of flavor all in one,
Yeah, it's a bad mixture. They actually wind up swerving into the bicycle lane. Needless to say, they got stopped and spoken with after that.
But what is the punishment if you get pulled over?
The primary offense is going to be whatever we stopped you for, such as in that person's case, going into the bike lane recklessly. And then distracted driving can be a secondary offense in the state of Florida. It can be a citation. It can be going to court. There can be different things that occur based on the infraction that you committed.
While I'm here, can I tase anybody? Can I hit any of the buttons in here? Where do y'all get your hats?
We get them from the boot barn.
No, you don't.
We do. They're specially made, though. They're specially made, specially ordered just for our deputies.
This has been fun. Thank you. Well, thank you for being a part of driving me crazy. Thank you very much, Chris. And before someone even types it in the comment section of this video, let me address one thing. I know people are gonna say, well, police and deputies are on their phones and computers while they drive all the time. Yeah, they're allowed to be, because they're trying to get information about whatever situation they're trying to get to, while still probably dealing with whatever crisis they just left. But they are also required to drive safely as well. So chill out, stay in your own lane. Parents, bring it in here for a second, because I think I actually might have a solution that you could use for your kids. Whenever they get a car, make sure it's a manual transmission. They need both hands and all their brain cells to work that. They won't have time for texting, or else they're gonna roll backwards down a hill. Boom, problem solved. But seriously, parents, you need to stop texting in your cars as well. Grow up, Karen. Set an example. Let me wrap this up by saying, if not killing yourself or hurting someone else is enough of a motivator for you to not drive distracted or to not text and drive, let me just say this. Saying that you're driving is the perfect excuse to not have to talk to anyone. If someone's mad that you didn't text them back, oh, I'm sorry, I was driving. It's a perfect excuse that nobody can get mad at. So enjoy some peace and quiet. Put down your phone, focus on what you're trying to do, and drive like you actually deserve that license.
I do think everyone deserves that license. All right, we're gonna have one more, and then. All right, we're gonna have one more, and then we're gonna be done.
So let's take this video.
Actually, we're not out of time, but next Thursday, we're gonna have more. But next time, we're gonna have more of our road rage. Actually, let's do this real quick. One more.
Are you kidding me? So let's take this video and talk about road rage. Admit it, you learned all of your best curse words from your parents in the car. They were like Vincent van Gogh. The road was their canvas and curse words were their paintbrush. I don't know if it's the heat down here, because our road rage is out of control. Listen. We are all Florida drivers, which means we're all terrible. You put us in a car, and suddenly we're like Sandra Bullock in Bird Box trying to drive. Are there other cars? I can't see. Oh, you saw me, and you cut me off anyway. But I really just need to calm down. I need to take a note from Elsa. Let it go, let it go. Do I get mad when people cut me off? Yeah. But do I want to get shot, or do I want to go to jail? Not really. Real talk for a second. Too many people have died or gotten run off the roads because of road rage incidents. We all just need to chill. We're basically in metal boxes flying down the roads. Sometimes things are gonna happen, okay? Deal with it. And hey, we learned this when we were young. Look what road rage did to Cruella de Vil. It ages you, and it might make you hate puppies. Easy things that you can do to make a difference. First of all, use your blinker. Do you even know where it is? I'm looking at you, Karen. Don't be a left lane lagger. Don't tailgate people. And if there's one thing that we learned from the Kentucky Derby this year, it is to stay in your lane. Look, I'm not here to give you a sermon. I am not perfect. I have said and done some things that were really stupid. Example, this is a true story. So a few years ago, I was on Atlantic Boulevard, okay? And I was at a stoplight, and this guy came up and was like, banging on my window, yelling that I had cut him off, which I didn't, but whatever. So he's yelling, and then he says that he's going to kill me. My response was, no you won't. There's far too many witnesses. Oh my God. Could not have had a worse response. I can't believe I said that. I'm an idiot. So after that, I've really tried to take it down a notch. There's no need to yell or hand gesture at people. There's really no scenario in which this ends well. And really, you don't feel better at the end of the day afterward. If you can, try not to react at all. I know you have to have the self-control of a saint, but try. As much as I wish I could be like Bruce Almighty and part the traffic, it's just not gonna happen. So chill, maybe do some yoga breathing, and realize that not everything that people do on the road is malicious. Some people are just bad drivers. Be nice.
Be nice. It's common sense. Next time we're gonna have more about driving me crazy. Especially when more Driving Me Crazy come up next week and come up tomorrow. Come up tomorrow's broadcast. It's all about driving. Would you as a parent give your child the keys to a car? We're gonna put that to the test. You're gonna see that happening as Kid and Cameron will show kids driving with a first time without a license. I'll see you on Friday. And we'll see you again next week. Actually, we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.